I believe it was 5 separate craft.
That's some straight UFO shit right there.
That's when I started seeing all of the lights and the contact that I've been witnessing.
This is ASDP ufologist Terry Lynch from Oregon. You're watching the Mothership Alien Strand podcast with your host, Donald Ledesma.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Alien Strand Podcast. I'm your host, Donald Ledesma, and welcome to today. It's going to be a nice, exciting one. You know, I think I had a little bit too much coffee. It's okay. It's okay, man. So I'm glad you guys are sticking around tonight. We are live right now. We are live on a bunch of these video platforms. We are actually live on our audio podcast as well. So if you go to your audio or your Spreaker app or all those, Alexa apps, all those whatever, we'll be live right now there too, man. So, I mean, if you don't want to watch this nice ugly face right now, you can just sit back and listen to us on the stereo or on the radio or on your trip. All right. So thank you guys for being just here today, man. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. Everybody is out tonight. We got Snack Bench is out there. Thank you. Ryan is out there. Everybody's out there tonight. Sue Harrison, they're all watching, listening. Everybody's just waiting to see what I got to say. And I'm going to say a lot, man. I'm going to say a lot. Believe you and me. I mean, I do have a lot to talk about, though. I have some things I'm going to talk about. I'm going to show some videos, just a couple, not too many, but I'm going to show a couple of videos today. And, and I'm going to talk about stuff from the past, man. But, you just welcome to Alien Strand Podcast. I can't believe it. Oh, hey, man, don't forget, we are on TikTok, man. Go to our TikTok page. It's blowing up. We actually got, I think, 200 extra people when I posted this one thing, about disclosure, and bam, it just went out there. Snack Bunch helped out a bunch out there. Thank you for helping out at our TikTok. All you got to do is look for Alien Strand. You'll find it somewhere in there. Okay, so also don't forget, Alien Strand Extras. I'm going to have a brand new podcast coming out tomorrow on Alien Strand Extras. So if you are a subscriber, a $5 subscriber, thank you. And I really appreciate you for that. And, there's a free one on there too, right? But the $5 ones are going to get the new podcast tomorrow. And everybody else, what can I say? But, but I'm giving you all a nice podcast today because I got a lot of information to talk about today. So please come and join us on Patreon. Download that app, man, and then look for Alien Strand Podcast, all right? Also, don't forget Lights in the Sky. I threw that out for free for everybody. So it's kind of like if you guys like what's on there, hey, just go ahead and sign up or just sign up as a guest. You'll be out there for free. Appreciate that. We're going to have some merch coming out. I got the guy making it, all right? So he's got a heavy load right now because, hey, Christmas time's coming. He had a big, just a big order to fill. So he's working on it. We're going to get these shirts out to you guys that are guests. All right. So thank you guys for sticking around there. Now, the big news right here. Watch this. If you're not watching tonight, I am live on YouTube. I'm live on X, live on all these platforms, Alien Strand Disclosure Project. I'm live everywhere. But if you're watching the middle two, I just got accepted today with my distribution platform. In other words, they're going to go ahead and pitch it out to over 100 channels, right? And they're going to see which one's going to want the middle part two, right? So we did get about 20 on the last one. So hopefully somebody is going to want the middle two. Guarantee they're going to want it, right? It's just, man, it's a great film. I'm telling you, it's going to be a great one for you guys to watch. And it's just one of those things that you're going to have to watch this because it's a learning platform for you guys to see, man. It's crazy, but if I go in and out, it might be the our freaking internet. It just, man, you try to shoot all these you paying all this money for these expensive internet, and and then it goes up and it goes down. But anyway, past podcasts, if you heard the sounds of the sky, man, that one was a creepy one, right? If you got to see it or listen to it, even after I threw it out on sound for audio podcasts out there. If you guys got to hear it, go check that out. It's on video on YouTube. Go to our YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe, man. And you'll be able to see a lot of this stuff that's on that I'm throwing on there for you guys, right? Also, you know what? The middle two, it's going to be on Prime Video. It's coming. Be looking out for it. Be sure to type in the middle part two, all right? This is the way you see it is the way you're going to type it up, and it'll pop up as soon as it comes out, all right? Also, the middle part one, you have to watch it. It's on Tubi TV, TCL, and it's still actually on Amazon Prime. So before they lose it, before it goes out, check it out if you don't want no commercials, things like that. But what I did you guys the favor, man. I threw it out on our YouTube channel. So please go to our Alien Strand Podcast YouTube channel. Please hit a like and subscribe, man, because we appreciate everything that you guys are doing. And that way I can, when the middle two comes out after a while, I'll throw it on YouTube channel as well. All right, we're trying to get some subscribers on there so that way I can throw it. If not, it's not going to do me any good, right? So everything we're trying to do is to help the platform here and to help with our Alien Strand Disclosure Project and everybody out there. Thank you guys for watching the first one. I really appreciate all the nice comments. And, you know what? I'm not talking about this just for a second, right? I went back on a couple of the messages on our film from YouTube. There's some people out there that, like I told you before, some people going to like the Titanic. Some people going to hate the Titanic, right? So, I got some bashers out there, but it's okay. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I like all the feedback, from everybody. But some people say, oh, you guys just went in there and they put all those rocks and stones on that 8,000-foot cliff up there on that edge of the cliff because you guys are so healthy and, you guys work out every day and look, you guys put that stuff up there yourself. Exactly. I'm being sarcastic, man. When you're up there, and I've explained this before, when you're up there on top of Paulina Peak, where we found where Terry found the Cascadia guides. Now, you can barely breathe up there, man. I mean, I know I'm from South Texas, and you have to, if you live there, you have to acclimate yourself to it, right? So I did pretty good out there, but let me tell you, man, I was losing a lot of every 5 minutes. I had to sit down. We had to sit down every 5-10 minutes. So if you think that we got the time to go over there and put these huge boulders and stones and stick them a foot into the ground or however deep they are, and make this thing out there, you're freaking nuts. We ain't got the time for that. You know what I'm saying? It's just this thing happened out there. So please, if you guys thinking that, don't, man. It's just impossible. Not with our nice physiques that we have, because we do love our Mexican food. Damn right I do. Anyway, but you know, there was some bad stuff on there, but by 80% of it, the feedback we got was really good for the movie. And I try not to listen to that crap because people gonna talk crap. I don't care who it is, so it's all good. So the middle two, all these beautiful people, get ready to watch them. I'm working on the middle three as we speak, man. We're trying to get as much as this information to you guys as much as possible. Follow us on Alien Strand Disclosure Project. Please follow us there. It's very, very important. Now, I wanted to show you guys something tonight because I thought it was pretty freaking important that you guys see what I figured something out. But before I figured something out, something popped up on our feed about 2 days ago, possibly, right? And I saw it and I kind of shared it on Alien Strand Disclosure Project. And I'm going to show you the image right now. So it's this huge sunspot, right, that formed a few days ago. Now, we all saw the pictures, things like that. Now, that spot that almost looks like a freaking state or whatever it is that's taking up a lot of the mass of the sun is 4 times the size of Jupiter, right? And it's supposed to be having a massive solar flare today, right? It's today the 5th. Yes, today at 2:00 in the morning, or unless we already had it. But that's the news I had gotten from that information of that solar flare, right? So what do we do on a situation like that? We get solar flares all the time, man, all the freaking time. So I'm going to show you the video for just this and how the way it looked and how they caught it on video. I do have that with me, so that way you guys can at least see how it actually formed. It's going to be real short, it's not very long, but check this out real quick. Now you see how that was spinning. So you actually got got to see it in real time. Now, that thing is massive. That I don't know if that forms a lot or that does happen from time to time. It might, since lately our telescopes and all that good things have been watching the skies and they're able to see these kind of things in infrared, right? So that's just the only way that you're able to see these kind of things. But man, that thing is huge and it's kind of scary looking if you kind of think about it. And I was talking about those trumpets and those sounds the other day, last week, about apocalyptic times and things. When you see something like that, and after you hear that podcast, you start thinking, man, is that something going to happen here pretty soon? I don't know. I don't know. But now we just got to keep an eye on it. If you're out there, if you're part of a lot of these Solar Institute websites, go check those out. See what's going on with the atmosphere and how it shoots the solar flares to us and everything like that. But I believe it was supposed to be one at 2:00 in the morning, so kind of keep an eye out for that. If my internet is glitching, maybe that's why it is, right? And what a day to have a podcast, right? So hey, I didn't think about that, right? But it's happening. Anyway, so there's this other deal. All right. I posted something on our TikTok videos, and it's strange. It's very strange. Um, Now I don't know if you saw this video that I had posted the other day. It's an actual. It looks like there's a UFO or a huge craft up in the sky. Right. Somebody caught this thing, and it's not. Apparently, it's not cloaked. Right. And you could see actually somebody walk by. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this video or not. I'm going to show it just real quick. Please, you're going to hear some snaps and glitches. It's just part of what they recorded and how they recorded it. But just watch this, and I'm going to break it down for you just real quick. And then I'm going to show you something that freaked the hell out of me and that the possibilities it can be. So watch this real quick.
Thought they were cloaked.
Now, people in audio world right now, what you're seeing is what you're hearing is somebody that's filming this thing, and it's looks like it's on top of the clouds because that's what it is. Actually, it's on the clouds, and you can see a figure walking by, right? And it's strange enough as it is, right? As what you're watching, it's just strange enough as it is because you're just saying, "Wow, what is who's walking up there on that spaceship, right? Or on that craft, right?" So I broke it down just a little bit and I got a closer shot of it, right? Of the person or the extraterrestrial that's walking by up there, right? So look at this real quick and I'm going to play it maybe 2 times and take a good look at it. Okay. Here we go. Did y'all get a good look at that? Okay. Now you see this figure because I zoomed in with my phone and I slowed it down. Um, you could see this entity walking in the inside of this craft. It's inside, not on the outside. And I think it goes to the outside somehow. It goes to the this actual craft, and then turns around and walks back. Now, did you see the shape of it? It looked like it had like a cloak of some sort, like some kind of dress wear, like it was a long cloak of some sort, right? And once I saw that, I was like, I've seen that before somewhere, right? The way it looks, right? And I was trying to put it together of where I had seen something that looks just like that, right? And yeah, and I was actually Jody Gordon's out there. She's watching. She's the one I talked to her about it. So I was having a nice conversation with her about, and I showed her the video, and so I saw this image that somebody had posted online, maybe about 4 days prior to watching that and breaking it down, right? And when I saw it, it's a person apparently that got abducted, right? It was a person that got abducted and that they were able to snap a couple of shots of the inside of this craft, of this actual entity inside of this craft. Now, I'm going to show this to you, and you tell me if two and two don't go together to what you just saw in this video image to this photo image. Now here it goes. I'm going to show this to you. Now, what you're seeing here right now is this extraterrestrial that's standing there, and it's almost in full black cloak. The head looks strange, like it's you can almost see the round eyes. The whole figure is dark, but you can see the shape. So the people that are out there in audio land that are hearing me right now talk about this, it's a white kind of crystal background. It looks like almost like crystals of some sort inside of this craft. And this entity is standing there, and it almost has like points or something on its head. But the shape of this entity is just strange looking as it is. It almost looks human in a sense, right? But it's wearing a cloak of some sort, some kind of dress wear. You know what I mean? It's all dark colored. Now, when you see this, right? And then you see the close up, it kind of looks similar. Now watch, I'm gonna play it one more time over this. Does it look similar to you? I mean, I just played it again. People in audio world out there, it's whatever's walking by inside of that craft or whatever it is, it's wearing some kind of long dress or some sort. Now, when I saw this image, I kind of like put two and two together. I said, whoa, wait a minute. Is this the same entity inside of that craft, or is this the same extraterrestrial, right? Because what I'm looking at here in this photo is just strange looking. Like whoever grabbed a shot of this, I mean, of course it's blurry. We're going to grab the blurriness. That's a given, right? But it just, to me, it just looks just like what we just witnessed, right? You know, Ryan Keaton is saying that really, it looks similar. I see it, right? So they're starting to see it. Even the sleeves are long, like in the video or like in the photo. Exactly. This is what Jody Gordon is saying out there. Now, if this is not some kind of disclosure of whatever this thing was, I mean, I just kind of put the puzzle together this myself. So this is exactly what I saw. And, you know, I was able to make out the same shape, right? I'm going to blow it up just a little bit more so you guys can see a little bit better. If you're watching tonight, go check us out on YouTube. You'll be able to see us live on X as well. But look at that. Isn't that remarkable of what I just showed you? You know, like I said, I'm gonna play one more time. One more time so you guys can see it again. Here you go. Yeah. Yeah. That's I don't know, man. To me, I'm just saying that's a dead ringer. That is a dead ringer. For what I just put together and figured out. You know, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. You know, I mean, but this is what happens, and this is what I'm trying to say. When people share your videos and photos out there, a lot of times you can put two and two together, right? And you could actually um, get a picture of this big puzzle that we're trying to put together all the time, right? And that's what I just did right now. Yeah, I had this aha moment, right? And but now that I showed you the difference and how and why I thought it was a possible similarity, you know, to what you just saw, it's like to me, it's a dead ringer of what it is. It's kind of hard though, because you know we don't have a clearer or better image of the live video feed. Thank you, Jody. She's saying you're a great researcher. Thank you. And it's just one of those things, you know, you have to keep researching until you find what you're looking for. And that's basically what I just showed you right there is disclosure. It's exactly what it is, right? And I was wanted to show you guys last week, but I just didn't have the time. I'm glad I was able to throw it out today. I'm glad you guys are watching this tonight, and you're able to see it yourselves with your phones or televisions or however you're watching tonight. I really appreciate that, and you make a determination of what it is, and it's just crazy what you can find. So Steinbeck says, I just heard an interview today with an abductee that saw an entity with a robe on. I had never heard of this before, and it had a hood. It was fully robed with a hood covering its head, right? That's pretty much what I just showed you. The same thing. Now, it's just insane, right? When you think about it. And the possibilities are endless of how a lot of this stuff started for us or for the planet or people on earth or however we all started as a human species, right? And I wanted to talk a little bit about this today. A little bit of it's and these are all just possibilities, they're just hypothetical, right? But I'm going to show you some things that it's a maybe this is a possibility, right? So during pre-human times, did we have visitation by extraterrestrials or anything like that to influence us in some sort of way, to communicate better, to build better? You know what I mean? To able to hunt better. Back in the days, over 300,000 years ago, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Not 300 million, but 300,000 at least. That's what we're trying to get at here. Now, is it a possibility that these things could have had some kind of influence? But it just took a long time for us to actually get it, right? At the time, right? Because back then, the brain was, if you really think about it, there was a time when the brain was huge, and then there was another time when the brain was real small, right? From predated, Neanderthalic human beings back in the day, right? So, was the learning curve, was it harder, for them to understand anything that was happening if these extraterrestrials were actually trying to make contact and we're trying to show them, okay, you know what, this is how you do things, does it go this way, or you have to hunt this way? I mean, was this a possibility? Like I was talking about earlier, over 300,000 years ago, right? That Homo sapiens arrived on the scene. Says they're the ninth Homo species, right? Joining Habilis and Erectus and all those different ones, right? There's a bunch of them up there. Kind of hard to pronounce sometimes, right? Because all these uh, pre-human uh, peoples, right, were around a long, long time ago. And my thing was, is it, did they have some kind of influence, or um because of the gods thing, like I spoke to before on the past couple of podcasts, right? I talked about that. And you know yeah, how do we determine, because we're still trying to dig back, we're digging back and back, right? First we went 2 3,000 years, yeah, this was what, 20 30 years ago. We're still at 3,000 years back, stuff that we're finding 2,000 years ago. And then now we found something 10,000, 12,000 years ago, right? Lepi Tepi, right? So now this is older. The deeper we dig, the more we're starting to find, right? And but during those times, we didn't look like Neanderthals and things like that. We were still in the human form, or the way we look today, right? Supposedly. And my thing is, did they kind of influence ancient times in a sense to where, because after a while everything's just started growing pretty quickly, not quickly in our time, but like over thousands and thousands of years, things started changing. And this is what I'm trying to say, right? We started getting the gods thing, like you're looking at right here is a picture of a pyramid that they found in Peru, right? And if you notice the writings on there, the writing that's on there looks almost Sumerian, right? But this was found in Peru, and the text, the way it's written, even in ancient times, even in the Egyptian times, with Horus, they everything they did where they drew a picture, they were still drawing pictures of hieroglyphs, right? Of what they were trying to say, the stories and everything, right? That was their wording and how it grew and how our times just kept on growing and growing, right? And but my thing is that, were we influenced in any type of way to write this way, or was it just our own brains just saying, okay, you know what, time to move on, we got to grow, we got to get better, you know what I mean? And as we got better, we started, actually thinking for ourselves and doing things for ourselves. But my thing was, did it start, was there some kind of something planted to show us how to do things, to grow, in other words? You know how they say you got to plant the seed in somebody's, it's just like a child, right? When you're teaching a child how to walk, how to talk, if you didn't show them these things, they would know, right? You would have to physically show them how to talk your language or anything like that, right? So, and that's my thing. Were we shown these things? This was the kickstart. Okay, no, this is the way you're supposed to talk. This is the way you're supposed to do that. You know what I'm, this supposed to, you got to write this way. And then it started to influence us to look at the bigger things and get the bigger picture, right? Like the celestial gods that we know now, right? And how the similarities are all there in ancient times and ancient civilizations, right? How we put these things together and got a lot of these stories, a lot of similarities in these stories, right? To have these gods and these images and almost look exactly like. Like the comparison here, I have an image of the Egyptian pharaoh, his hood mask, and the mask that they had in Mexico in the pyramids there. Similarities. And does that, we're always trying to put everything together and try to say, okay, you know what? Let's let's figure this out and how all this started. We put all these books together, the books of Enoch and all the biblical books and all the books of Sumerian and all everything from the past. And we're starting to dig up more and more and more now. It's starting to come up. I mean, are we going to find something that actually is going to show us a little bit more deeper of what, how human beings possibly were and how it all started, right? I mean, it's kind of hard to think about it because I know things deteriorate and things out of time, but they're still finding dinosaurs and all that good stuff from millions of years ago. So why not find writings and tablets and petroglyphs and geoglyphs um, out there that are getting uncovered and unburied, right? So, and this is what I was trying to put together today, just a little bit. It's just something to think about. That's all. Right? They were talking about those little those Nazca mummies, right? They've been going crazy back and forth about these things. They were 1,000 years old supposedly. But and the thing that they found out this past week, or I think it was last Friday, I believe I saw it, is that this little Nazca mummy had a breastplate on it, right? So when they dug a little bit deeper on that breastplate, they found out that it was radioactive. That plate that's on the front breast of that extraterrestrial, supposedly extraterrestrial, right? What we're seeing out there. So Nancy Tempsis says messages left for us. That's a possibility because what I was talking about earlier. Terry Lynch says, I agree. Same people. He says, I think a lot has been destroyed to keep us from the truth. Right. And we're watching, I'm showing a photo of these little Nazca mummies, and then I'm comparing it to an actual level 5 photo of an Area 51 extraterrestrial. Now I'm gonna show you something. The only reason I put these together next to each other, yeah, I know in audio land you can't see it, but look at the Area 51 level 5 extraterrestrial on the right. Now look at the Nazca mummies on the left. Look at the way the arms are. Just a little bit. The first one has a little bit past the hips, almost closer to the knees. If that arm could extend all the way down, it would almost be close to its own knee, right? The similarities on these two extraterrestrials are the same to me, right? Now, I've done stories of extraterrestrials that have this kind of light that they say that comes out from their chest. They see when they see these things walking. I've seen a video of them where these things are walking and they have this light coming out of its chest, and it's glowing, and it ends up like shooting some kind of beam or some sort. They say the light will turn white or it'll turn red. You can see it glowing inside their chest. Now there was a story in the past, I believe in the 1970s. I believe there was a big firefight in this up in Arkansas somewhere, and they went into a firefight with these extraterrestrials that had landed on their land, right? And they said these things had their chests were started glowing and they were coming at them, right? In that story. And they were shooting them. They were trying to shoot them, but nothing would hurt these extraterrestrials. They were trying to attack them and attack the family on that story. Now, the only reason I brought this out to you guys so you can see that breastplate is that they found one of these inside of the Nazca mummies. And there it is. I'm showing a zoomed in part of that breastplate. Is it radioactive? What is it? What is it that we're actually seeing that's inside of this little extraterrestrial? What is that radioactive plate that's inside of their chest? And look at the cavity. The cavity of that chest is formed almost like a triangular shape in a sense. Ours is a little bit more oval. That's a triangular cavity if you kind of look at it. I got a picture of the chest zoomed in from the Nazca mummies, and it shows this little plate. It almost looks like a set of headphones that are just folded in half, right? Folded open. That's for people that are listening tonight. That's what it looks like in a sense. So I put this together like as a story of what happened to those people that were shooting all these extraterrestrials, saying these things were glowing from their chest. right? Is this some kind of power source that they had built into them of some sort, right? Wherever this certain extraterrestrial came from. And there's a lot of things that are happening out there that you have to pay attention. If you're into ufology or you're just starting with ufology, you have to pay attention. Watch everything. Watch a lot of things that are happening, not just on these extraterrestrial groups. Not just look at your history books. Go to a library and go to look at the older photos of extraterrestrials and UFOs. You're going to see a lot of stuff that you don't see out on the net, right? On the World Wide Web. There's a lot of stuff that will put you a little bit closer to the truth. Jordy Gordon says lots of movies show truths of ETs and how the chest glows. And I wonder where they got that from the movies, right? I mean, they got it from somewhere, right? Like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Remember that? They said that the way the extraterrestrial, the way he made it look inside of in the film was almost to the T resemblance of what a lot of people see. How did he get that right? I know he studied about it. Terry Lynch says, do you think this is how they might perform levitation? Right. We watched that in the Peru, where these things are levitating and they're trying to abduct that little girl, right? You know, is it some sort of power source? Jody says, I think Steven Spielberg had an inside connection. I think so too. Because he was like dead on a lot of that stuff. And then what we're reading now today. Right? And then thus time goes by. Let's go forward from what I was talking about, the ancient times. And then we started getting into the, 1930s and 1940s. Here we go. Project Blue Book. We start getting more sightings. We start getting more inquisitive as human beings. We get Dr. Hynek there in 1948. The Air Force got him. You know, they wanted to. They knew that they had something with him, that he was going to find out the truth of a lot of these things that we're seeing in the skies, right? And Project Blue Book was a big thing. You know, it opened up a lot of eyes, but at the same time, it was shutting a lot of doors. Right, we just had disclosure last week, right? That I showed of how we're getting tired of where's our money going? What's happening? Well, at least Project Blue Book, at least they said, okay, this is what we're using your money for. At least they had some kind of agenda, right? So, okay, yeah, some of your money's going right here, or we're going to use it for this. That was great. People were on board with that. And thus, we got the historical Hynek for it, right? Then we started receiving a lot of images of people just out there were catching these UFOs up in the sky, and people would think that, it was a hoax of some sort, right? So I'm showing a photo. It's called a Heflin 1965. This photo is a very famous photo. In any UFO books, anything like that, you will see it. This exact photo. It almost looks like a straw hat, but it's not. That was shot because you can almost make out the metallic part from it, right? And I'll just read you a little bit of backstory just on this photo, right? So at noon at August 3rd, 1965, highway traffic engineer Rex Heffen was driving his car near Santa Ana Freeway when he saw a UFO. He stopped and snapped 3 Polaroid shots of it. He says, I reckon it was about 750 feet in the air and about the altitude about 150 feet. He says it was about 30 feet in diameter. Huffman did not report the sighting at the time. On the 20th of September, the Santa Ana Register published these photos, right? 3 days later, a Project Blue Book investigator interviewed Heflin, who said that the previous day that he had handed his Polaroids to a person claiming to be an official from the North American Defense Command, right? NORAD. Denied any contact with Heflin. Hello. And the originals have never been seen since. Project Blue Book labeled this photo a fake. As a hoax. In 1967, the Condon Committee reopened the case, declared that Heflin's photos were strong evidence for an existence of UFOs. So, I mean, there was always this back and forth thing. Is it real or is it not? You know, and that's what I was trying to talk about today was the influences that we have possibly had, right? And making and seeing these things and now recording these things as it's happening. Because that's what we do as a human species, right? We record a lot of these things. You know, and in even now, even today, not just in 1963, but you know, you're going to see a lot of people, a lot of trolls out there. Oh, that's fake. That's CGI. That's Photoshop. Yada yada. Here we go. Right. So, and yes, you can see some of it. I get that part. Some of it you can. But these older photos, man, they're just kind of hard to not think that it's authentic, right? And us, we're just trying to figure out what are these things? And is it giving us some kind of influence of some sort? Now we have all this technology, right? We have all our cell phones, we have cameras galore, we have now all these wonderful podcasts, right? Just like Alien Strand here. And now we have these groups and we have all these teams and we have everything out there to help us figure this out, right? Like Alien Strand Disclosure Project. We're a team. Jody says we have all the technology on the tips of our fingers. Ryan says we're on the right track to figure this out. Jody says it's pretty hard to change a Polaroid. That's exactly right. You know, and Terry was kind of comparing what he saw on Paulina Peak. He says the glowing of the craft over Paulina Peak and over a hole in the ground, they look like fire in the skyline. So they were, you know, there's some that are going to have this fiery look, and there's some that are going to have this just a silver glow, or maybe just a metallic look to it, right? And that's what we've been figuring out in Disclosure, because that's what we are. I always say there's no I in team. We as a team, we all put this together, right? And we're all trying to figure this out as it comes out. And I was just trying to point out right at the very beginning, or actually the middle of this podcast, that Was there some kind of influence in our, in our DNA maybe, or just in our thought process, right? Just like I spoke about having a baby and teaching them how to walk, how to talk, how to count, how to do all that, right? And of course, our technology is wonderful now because you can put a tablet in front of a baby and they'll be a genius by the time they're 6 years old, right? As long as you got them locked down into learning some good stuff, right? So as we grow as a human species, we just need to make sure that we stay on top of these things on disclosure. And if you figure something out, and if you have figured something out your own self, and you've put two and two together, just like I showed you in the beginning of this podcast, of what I thought and what is a possibility of what these things could be, with those two images that were totally different, but they're the same, right? That's called disclosure because we're figuring these things out and I'm showing you these things as I see them. And people are out there doing these things out there as well in ufology, right? And we all work together trying to break the ice and, you know, stop hiding all this stuff about ufology. And we're not crazy. We don't wear tinfoil hats. We're human beings just like everybody else here. We all have feelings. Yes. And we always push for disclosure because that's what it's about. That's what all this is about, really. And it's about learning too, because if you didn't learn something by listening to my podcast, keep watching, keep listening, because I guarantee you're going to learn something. You're going to learn how to use your phone. You're going to learn how to use your camera. You're going to know how to use your professional camera. You're going to learn how to break things down just like I showed you. And this is why we're just trying to do the best we can in disclosure. And I hope you guys are enjoying this podcast as much as I did. Jody says, sometimes it's hard when there are so many people out there slapping your stuff down. Exactly. And these are the same trolls, the same people that are out there on these group sites. And if you own a group and you see people doing stuff like that, man, take them off, block them, and ban the hell out of them. And ban them from any other groups. If you have 100 groups, ban them from those groups too. Because you know why? Those people don't deserve to be on our groups or any of your groups. We don't allow that on any of ours. I think we have about 100 of them. So if you screw up on one of our groups and start talking crap, get ready to be banned over 100 groups out there where you will not be able to get on any of them ever again. Right. So, and we just do it because, it's, if you're looking for the truth, if you're looking for answers, there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. Right. And we just trying to tell you here, keep an open mind. And things will start coming to you little by little, little by little. As you learn ufology, as you learn all this, you'll start to learn. And then you'll start questioning things. Like I always say, question everything. Like I do. I question every single thing. But I keep an open mind. You have to. So don't forget, the middle two. Yeah. It's going to be coming out, man. I am so excited. I'm so glad that this next film is going to come out for you guys to see. You guys need to see it. And I'm not selling it or anything. I want you guys to see it because it's a learning platform. You're going to learn from all these people that are going through these things. The middle part 3 is going to be even better. The middle part 4. And then we go on. But I'm glad that you guys are stuck around today and listened to me ramble just a little bit. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned a little bit as I did. I always learn. I love to read stuff. Even if I don't read right every once in a while, or if I don't see it correctly. So, some troll got me the other day. You didn't say pin Pinturk, right? It's Pinturk. Hey, okay, fine. Pinturk. I was talking about that UFO. But, there's people that just nitpicky out there like that, man. You know what I'm talking about, and you know I'm telling you the truth. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Catch us on 26, 27 platforms. Catch us on all these audio podcasts. If you like this podcast, hit a like, share. Go to our YouTube, subscribe. Go watch The Middle, man. It's there for free. You don't even have to pay for it. I put it for free for you guys. Me and Terry said, you know what? Let's put it on YouTube for free. People need to see this movie for free. Go check it out, man. Give us a thumbs up. Get a subscribe. We appreciate you guys. But until then, you guys have yourselves a good day. Have yourselves a good evening. And have yourselves a good night. See you later.
Hi, this is ASDP ufologist Jody Brown from Arizona, and you are watching Alien Strand Podcast with host Donald Ledesma.